I am super excited to be here to share with everyone on how to decrease turnover, increase corporate brand trust, and encourage team diversity by building a personal brand. I want to start off by sharing a little bit more about myself. As mentioned, my name is Connie J. Pack, and I'm the founder and CEO of Tucked-In Marketing LLC. I'm also a virtual CRO and CTO for many of my clients. But from a personal branding perspective, I like to call myself a marketing strategist. I know what many of you might be thinking, well, isn't personal brands for people like Elon Musk, Oprah, and Richard Branson? And yes, that's true. They have very, very distinct personal brands. They've accomplished quite a bit, right? However, it goes beyond that. And I'd like to get to the core of what personal brand really is, especially for people like us. Personal branding is the practice of people marketing themselves and their careers as brands. This is how Wikipedia defines personal branding. And so yes, it's most commonly used by founders and CEOs of companies, but at the core, it's for everyone. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time and energy, but I'm hoping I'm able to show you today why it might be worth the time and effort to start building your personal brand today. So, how many people here can raise their hand and say, yes, I have a personal brand? Well, whether you know it or not, we all do. If we take out our phones, Google our names, you'll find information online about yourself. Well, some of us with more common names might have to scroll a little bit longer to find it, but it will be there. So the difference is, do you manage your online reputation, or does your online reputation manage you? In a career builder survey, they said 70% of employers use social media to screen candidates during the hiring process. I do this all the time. As I hire team members from my own company, I'm always checking to see what kind of websites that they've created in the past, a little bit more about their personality. I want to create a very encouraging company culture. So I'm sure many of us here may have done that as well. I mean, many resumes nowadays probably even include social media handles to allow you to go check. So whether you're recruiting talent or you're a job seeker, don't underestimate the power of personal branding. A personal brand is a modern day resume, and resumes can sometimes feel restrictive, but a personal brand will open the doors to allow recruiters and managers to get a glimpse of the candidate's individuality. Companies want to create a diverse and inclusive culture, and a personal brand is a perfect way to see their unique skills and talents showcased. So what is personal branding not? Well, with the pandemic, more and more people are working remotely from home. And because of that, personal branding has now replaced the business cards that we used to pass out at networking events, the name on the door, maybe a plaque on your desk, or even the elevator speech, mainly because no one's actually going into these office buildings any longer. But what is personal branding? Well, personal branding is where CEOs, management, employees, job seekers, where they can share their values, their passions, and their stories to create the narrative for their online reputation. It's a way to share your career experiences, celebrate wins, basically a way to express yourself authentically and differentiate yourself from others. I love this story about Hallie Warner. So Hallie was passionate about blogging. She created a personal brand sharing stories about her life as chief of staff. Now, Hallie and her boss, Adam, have been invited to speak at the Behind Every Leader conference, and more recently co-wrote the book, The Founder and the Force Multiplier. And Hallie says, quote, "These branding efforts have put me on the map as an expert for executive assistants and other chief of staffs. And these are just one of the many stories of how personal brand can help grow personal development and build trust with the company. Jason Demers tweeted this saying, "It's advantageous to leverage the power of personal brands in conjunction with central corporate brand." So what does this mean? An employee telling corporate brand stories creates more trust with the public. This leads to more awareness for the company, more job seekers excited to interview at the company, and customers feeling connected to the company. This ultimately leads to higher retention rates and happier employees. The Edelman Trust Barometer 2020 report reveals that more people find information very credible when it comes from a regular employee rather than a CEO. So you might be asking, well, what exactly is a personal brand? I know you've defined it. I know we've kind of gone over examples of how it was used, but what exactly is it? And at the simplest level, the way I can explain it is a personal brand is you. We all have thoughts, feelings, stories happening daily in our lives. A personal brand is you sharing that content with the public. Many of us are already doing this on Facebook and Instagram already for our personal life. The key is to mix in stories about your career along the way. And the best part is you get to choose how you prefer to share that content. And what I mean by that is nowadays we have many platforms to be able to share content. So we've got Facebook and Instagram, YouTube, Clubhouse, podcast, LinkedIn, and even blogging. And these are just a few of the common channels that you can use to create content. So if you like to write, you can blog. If you like to make videos, you can do YouTube. If you prefer talking over writing, but you don't really want to be in front of a camera, you've got Clubhouse and podcasting. Some of you might be overachievers and have multiple outlets to produce content, and that's great too. The connecting point for all of these outlets is to bring them back to a personal brand website or funnel. Now you might be asking, so what is a funnel? Well, here is the difference between what a personal brand website and a personal brand funnel is. We all know a website will generally have a homepage, maybe an About Me page, maybe information about the different companies I've worked at, a Contact Me page, and maybe a resources page where I list some of the books that I like to read or I recommend and things like that. Now, a personal brand funnel is for people who have a more concise story to share. Because again, these are all our own narratives that we're sharing. And so a funnel will generally have one call to action. You land on one page, that page takes you to another page, and that's it. So an example of this would be, here is my personal brand funnel. So when you land on it, it gives you a headline of what I do, a little bit of who I work with, what offerings I have, how we can get started, a little bit about me, some testimonials, and that's it. They click the link and they reach out to me, they schedule a call, and we're able to connect. Now, if you are a CEO and you have a lot more to share, you might lean towards a personal brand website. You might have a homepage that has multiple ways of clicking to jump over to either the blog page or the About Me page, but you have multiple things, many layers to share. So people who have a longer narrative, a website will be the more appropriate path for you. So to go back and answer that question, how do you build a personal brand? Well, I would start with a personal brand website or a personal brand funnel. And that would be the starting point. That's where you would point all your content towards. And basically outside of that, you pick one form of platform to create content on a regular basis. So if you like LinkedIn, you post regularly on LinkedIn, but the website that you have on LinkedIn then points them to your website or funnel. And so why should you do this? Well, there are many benefits at many levels. At the company level, when a company promotes personal brands, they gain corporate ambassadors. And this can lead to increased corporate brand trust. It helps to acquire new customers and retain existing ones. It helps to acquire new employees and retain existing ones. and it increases the ROI for social media engagement efforts. As an employee, personal brands allows employees to manage their online reputation. It can help employees to network and make connections in the industry. It can help employees to highlight their achievements and accomplishments to position their authority in the industry. It can help employees to express their values and passions through their narrative. It can help to encourage individuality, creativity, and an expression of diversity. I love this quote by Jeff Bezos. He says, "Your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room." And I feel this applies to personal brands as well as corporate brands. And if you haven't already, I encourage everyone today to start now and take control of your online reputation and build your personal brand. As a free gift to you, I have a personal brand website / funnel starter kit. So if you just go to conniejpack.com/personal brand, you can get started and take advantage of this free gift. And I'd love to connect with you. So if you are on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook, you can find me at Connie J. Pack. And I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me in this presentation. I know we're all very busy. Comment or subscribe if you'd like to continue hearing more. Thanks.